So today I'm going to show you how oops, you don't want that. You don't want to see card number 6. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. It's number 6 in the series of Delicate Dahlias. And it opens up and it's a pop out. So it is called a gatefold pop out card. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with a piece of basic black. And I have scored that at 2 1/8 on from each edge. So this was 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And so now I've scored it at 2 1/8 from each edge this way. Okay. I have a piece of basic white that I'm going to place in the center. And this is 5 1/4 by 4. Move those out of my way here. And go just like that. Okay. Now, you need a piece of the long strip of 4 3/4, and it's scored. And all these measurements will be on my blog. So it's stampwithdeb.com, of course. And so let's fold those over. Okay, and then let's get these pieces ready first. Okay, we'll set that aside. And we have 2 small images here. 2 small basic whites and 2 pieces of gray. And then we have 2 of the blushing bride and 2 whites. Okay, so we're going to stamp on these pieces before we put them together, so that way we can flip it if we need to for some reason. Okay, so we're going to start with these 2 here, and let's look at our card. So it has 3 flowers, and each flower has leaves. The flowers are stamped in Blushing Bride, and the leaves are stamped in Smoky Slate. So let's do that. So you will use your mask here. And so what I did is I stamped my top flower first. Let's just make sure that that's... So I'm going to stamp this one first. And I am going to clean my pad, just because it's just a little darker than what I want it to be, and it's not stamping clean. And I'm going to go clean my stamp. Okay, now let's see if we get it better. We're going to turn that over, and much better. So those are my top ones. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to stamp my other 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp them so that they are not touching each other, but they are overlapping the top one. So there and there. So that way I didn't have to mask those off too. And, oh, my top one didn't come out too clear on this one. Uh-oh. Okay, can I flip him, or did I already flip him? No, I can flip him. Okay, so let's do my top one again. Make sure I get a good clean stamping. And then I'm going to cover it. And when I do this, I want to leave a little bit showing, unless you want the white in between. The white in between kind of looks okay, but I prefer it not be there. Okay. All right, now let's just leave that one on, and we'll come back and we will do the leaves. So I'm going to get my leaves here and my gray pad and Smoky Slate. And because my leaves are so small, I think they'll be fine. Let me just make sure they're clean. Okay, I think they'll be fine for stamping. They will. So I'm just going to give it a couple of leaves in different places. Okay, so this little guy is going to get one up here and over here. And I could probably do, that's it for him. So then I'm going to move my mask down, cover this one, and do the same kind of thing. So I'm just going to give it a leaf here, and one over here, And this one, I'm going to put one at the bottom. And I'm going to put two at the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here and mask this and put my two leaves coming out here. And I think we need one at the top. So see, that one came out perfect because I went a little bit short of, turn the leaf around, a little bit short of the mask. I mean the stamp, the image. So see it, that one's a little bit short. That was a little too short, but okay, we'll set that aside. And so guys, this takes practice, I will tell you that. It's not something you're just gonna go, oh, no problem. Most of us, we're better when we practice. So this one is gonna go right on here. And so see, I'm gonna go just a tiny bit inside of where I'm gonna stamp on that flower on where I'm gonna stamp. At least I want to. It doesn't always work out that way. If you trim your flower a little bit smaller, you'll find it easier to do. So, that one came out good. Like I said, the more you do this, the better you get at it. You get so that you can see it and you know where you need to go. My poor little flower is torn here and he is just about seeing his days. Okay. But I'm trying to make him work through this class. And let's put one coming out here. And then I'm going to come down here and do this bottom one. And you guys know you can speed this video up. You don't have to watch me do this. If you are comfortable with this, just go right through. Speed it up, jump it over. Okay, so there we have our two cards all stamped, and they are different. Okay, now we do have some words that we're going to stamp. So on these, we're going to stamp some words. And this one says, I love being your friend, which I love. That's very sweet. And this one says, you're in my thoughts today. And you know what? I'm going to restamp those, guys. I did those in tuxedo black, and I think they pop better. So you notice my stamp pad is upside down. You want it upside down because then the ink will come to the top. And on this pad, it's not a Stampin' Up! Pad, so it doesn't turn itself upside down. So I'm just going to move this here where I can reach it and see it, and hopefully stamp it straight. And then I am going to, oh, that's about as crooked as it comes, huh? Okay. Let's try this. I think my stamp is crooked. That's not too bad. Okay, let's put a couple leaves at the bottom. That'll distract the eye so you won't see how crooked it is. And I'm going to cut a new piece for that one. So let me just hang on to that for a minute. Where's my leaves? So we'll add a couple of leaves down here. Just like that. And then let me grab another piece for this. Okay, I got a scrap of basic white and I'm just gonna cut it. So guys, don't hesitate to cut another piece if you need it, if you have the paper. So, yeah, these things happen sometimes, right? Okay, I'm gonna flip this around the other way. And let's figure out what the size is on this. It is 1 7/8. Oh, I should know this, by 2 3/8, I bet. By 2 and, yep. So 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. So 1 7/8. Let's see, 1 3, 1 1/2, 1 and nope. So let's use this side. So I have to move my pad before I put my ink in it, my paper in my ink, and then I'll have another mess. Okay, 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. Okay, got it. Just check it and make sure it is. And so this one is going to get I love being your friend on it. Okay. Okay, good. And then I'm going to put 2 little leaves at the bottom of that one. Okay. Get those over here, sitting on the chamois. Okay, now let's put this together, at least part of it, until we get to the front. So we'll put these 2 together. Just like that. And what did I do with my other gray one? You're in my thoughts. That's not it, is it? It's right up here. Okay, there's so many pieces to this card. So, yeah, I think it's better in black. The smoky slate's a little too light when you get it with the rest of the card. Okay, let's put this one. On here. And guys, you could add bling to this if you want to. The card is pretty bulky, so if you're planning on mailing it, you might want to think twice about adding bling. So, but it would be pretty to have bling right in the center of those flowers, especially some of the iridescent rhinestones. That would be really pretty. I think I'm going to do it on this one. I didn't on my other one, but I think that would just be so pretty. We'll see how it closes and then figure out. Okay, these are square, these are not. Okay, so now we're going to come back here and we're going to get put this away. We're going to put some of this card together. So we're going to put the mechanism in it. So bear with me, here we go. We're going to start with okay, this is how it's going to go. So this is the short side right here. Okay, that's the shortest square. The shortest, the smallest. See, it's smaller than the others. So we're going to start with that. We're going to glue the long one down. Okay, the opposite end, we're going to glue down to here. And then we're going to fold this over onto there. Okay, so we want to go right up against the score line here when we're doing this. And you want to make sure that it's just kind of centered, that you're not going to put it up at the top here. Put it about the middle. So let's put some adhesive on the large section here. And just glue that down right there, going right up against that fold line. So you want it to go right there. Okay, preferably straight. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on this one. Find the long end, put glue on that one, and just get your gauge here. And so we can go right in here, just about the middle of it. You just want it to be straight. That's the main thing, so that when it comes out, it doesn't pop up to the side crooked. So you just want it straight through there. Okay? And make sure that it closes, that your card will close once you've done those. Okay, now this is super easy. Okay, now we're going to put some glue on here. This just the first one, the first little square, and this first little square right there, rectangle actually, what it is. Close your card and just keep it there for a few minutes. Okay, so we're just going to turn that over. We're going to set something heavy on that. I'm going to set a stamp on it. I'm going to turn it over and set it off to the side here so that it dries. Okay, now let's go ahead and work on the front while that's drying. So for the front of our card, we're going to stamp. Let's look at the front. we're going to stamp the large flower here and then 2 little flowers down here. So we're going to need our mask for the large one and the small one. Here it is, my little mask there. We're going to need those 2. We're going to need a Blushing Bride stamp pad and our beautiful stamp. And where's my Blushing Bride pad? I had it right here. I know there it is. If I put it in the same place every time I'd know, huh? Okay, let's do the clean off because it's been a little while. Even though this one looks pretty good, I think we'll just clean it off anyway, just so we get some nice stamping here. And you can see barely anything comes off on that one. So then we're going to ink it up. And we're just going to stamp up near the top. So we want to leave some room for our leaves. So we want to come down a little bit, but not too far. So right there. I'm going to go right there. And let's see what we got. Oops, we didn't get a nice image. Okay, so see what happened? I have ink on one side of my stamp pad that I didn't get cleaned off. Right over here. So those outer edges, you're going to want to get those outer edges too. Just press that ink down. And let's try it again. Clean all that off. And then ink it up. Either that or make sure that you ink all the way across. And let's try it again. Just like that. Much better. Okay, see, it didn't get the darkness on the outer edges there. Okay, now, it kind of should have gone higher, huh? I'm not going to have room for my flowers at the bottom. Is this the right paper? It is. Okay, we're just going to scooch them in there then. Okay, so I'm going to cover my large flower with my stencil. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for this little one right here. It is easy to find. It's right there. So I'm just looking for that. And that will give me which flower to match up with and get my flower on there. Okay, so I'm going to put my 2 little flowers down here. And I'm just going to get a little bit of them. I'm not going to get a whole lot. But that's okay. And I don't want to overlap them. Oh, I could have put my little flower on there and overlapped them, huh? If I had masked this flower, then I could have put my other one right there and overlapped it. But I didn't. But you can if you haven't stamped it yet. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my leaves. So I need my smoky slate. And my leaves. Why am I having such a hard time with those leaves today? They're right here. Okay, and so see, I left too much room up here for my leaves, really. So I'm just going to put one over here. And one over here. Okay, and then I'm going to put my little leaves at the bottom. And now I need to mask my flowers. So let's cover that up. And I'm going to put one over here and one right next to him. And then one coming out. I want to go right here. Okay, and then I need to move my mask, come over this way, and do the rest of my leaves. So I'm just going to go a couple over here. And oops, I just stuck my mask in the ink pad. Oh, that's not good. Don't do that, guys. Because now I have a inky mask. Okay, good, it's wiped off. All right. So be careful. Don't pick your mask up with your stamp. Okay, let's do this. One more flower over here and one more leaf. Okay, good to go. And so even though I messed up down in this area and didn't put it high enough, I'm going to put my cord across there, and so that'll cover any mess up that I have. Okay, let's put those up there. Okay. Okay, now I have one more thing to stamp, and that's the happy birthday. And this came from Calming Camellia. Calming Camellia is a gorgeous, gorgeous set. And I love so many things that you can do with it. It does require a $300 order in order to get one during celebration. And I don't know if it's just during celebration or during the whole quarter. I'll have to check that out. Just during celebration, I believe. Anyway, that will be one of my classes coming up, but it will be a limited class, a very limited class. So keep that in mind to watch for that. It will be a kit like this that will be coming out before long. And so, but it's such a beautiful stamp set. And so this is one of the greetings that is in that set. And I'm not seeing my little piece, so maybe it's still in my envelope. Nope, looks like I'm missing it. So let's do this. Let's create one. So I'm just going to stamp my happy birthday. It's probably sitting here on my desk somewhere. Don't see it. Okay. So you should have a little piece of paper to do this with in your packet. And so I will check and make sure that they are in there. That's why I do these videos before I send out your packets. So I'm just going to trim that, and then I'm going to cut this off a little bit just so it's the right size. I need to trim the other end too a little bit, just so that it's even. Okay. And then I'm just going to flag the ends. So you will have to flag the ends, so that is not done for you. You can always use a punch. There's several punches that will do this. So I will give you those recommendations on my blog or in your instructions, one or the other. So what punches will do this. Okay, so we're gonna close this up. Let's glue these layers together. And start with this one. Boy, if I get through this class without stamping on two sides on anything, it's going to be a miracle, huh? I'm having an off day. Probably not a good day to do videos, but I need to get these done for you guys so that we can get the kits out. This is the only thing holding up the kits now. So. And then I'm attaching it to the smoky slate, which each layer is just 1/8 of an inch difference. Okay, so they are really, really close. And then I'm going to wrap my cord around here, and I am going to use Stamp & Seal, but I don't have any handy. Mine ran out. So here, I have some Stamp & Seal Plus. This will work. So I just am going to put a little bit on the back here and here. And I have some gold cord here that I am just going to wrap around. Just have to decide where. So I think I'll do it. Just right about there, maybe. And I'm just going to cut this apart so that it's not, oops, that doesn't want to stay, does it? I'll have to press that down real good. Make sure it's straight, of course. It's kind of loose though. Let's pull it a little tighter. See, everything's fighting me today. I'm just having an off day, but it's okay. We all have off days, don't we? It's a good day to stamp when you have an off day, because usually other things are going that way too. Although I haven't done anything today except for stamp, so I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead, and I want this to stay really, really well to that black so that it holds that gold cord, because it just keeps popping off on me. That is so weird. Okay, I should have wrapped it probably instead of taking it around and cutting it. good suggestion. Wrap your gold cord. And then you'll have one end here and one end over here, and that will be easier. So, see if I can get this glued together before it comes apart again. I can't. Okay, let me get another piece of gold cord. Okay. So we're going to start here and wrap it around and wrap it around. Oops. You know, I'm just wondering about, I've never had that much trouble with that. No. Okay, it's my adhesive. Let's grab a glue dot. Okay, let's try a glue dot and see if that'll work for me. Where's my take your pick tool that has a pokey on the end? This one. Okay. Let's just stick that right there. You know, it's been a long time since I opened my Stamp and Seal Plus, and I have not kept it a lid on it. I wonder if it's just gotten to the point that it's just not, it's dried out a little bit. Because it did not want to hold that at all, did it? Okay. Boy, I feel like fumble fingers this morning. Okay. This cord is going to get the best of me today. Okay, we got it. And I'm going to put a glue dot right there, a double glue dot, actually. It's still not sticking to that. It's two glue dots stuck together, and it's not wanting to hold that. Okay. I hope you're not having as much trouble as I am with this. This should not be hard. This should be the easy part. Wrap it around and attach it on the back. Okay, we got it on. Hopefully it will stay. I didn't have that problem when I did the other one, so I don't know why I'm having so much trouble today. But I am going to kind of split that cord and put the dimensionals in between. So I have some mini dimensionals that I'm going to use for that because I don't want a great big split. I just want a little bit. So let me grab my tweezers for those. I like my tweezers for my minis. And I'm just going to put one here and one here. And then that way they're split and they'll hold that cord. And, come off. We'll just put that. And then that way, mine rocks when because it's the dimensionals are sitting on the cord. This way it won't rock, and you've got the look of the cord coming out the edges. Okay, now, what I did is I tied a bow with the cord also, and we're going to attach that with a glue dot. This is the old package of glue dots, and they don't stick. They're dried out. They're years old, and they were in my drawer. And I got down to the last package I had because I had bought them so long ago. This is a new pack. And look how sticky they are. They're so nice and sticky. I love them for that reason, because they are so sticky. Okay, now we've got our front done. Okay, let's go back to our card, and we need to cut some paper. We need to cut some of it's a gray and pink right here. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the one we're going to cut. And we're going to cut those at 2 inches by 5 3/8. So let's grab our paper cutter and see how we do here. So this is only 4 inches across, so you will get the 2 out of it. Let's move that so we don't get a funny cut. So it's 2, because those are 2 1/8. And I should have cut the 5 3/8 first. By 5 3/8. So that's the little line, the second line from the halfway mark on my paper cutter. So 5 3/8. Just like that. Okay, now let's attach those. It's a beautiful paper. It's just really busy for me. So this was a good way to use it because it made a great background. So we're going to attach those to the front of our card. Let's see how our mechanism's working. Perfect. Yes, good. So those should lay down when you open them up. Okay, so let's attach this. I'm just having problems with everything today, aren't I? Like I said, I probably shouldn't be doing these videos today. It's okay. Okay, we're going to attach this to the front of the right panel. And it doesn't matter which one you put where, unless you want to be sure that the pattern stays the same. I didn't pay attention to that. And then we're going to attach the other one. Let's get some of this stuff off this space, out of my space here. Okay, this one is going to go on the left panel. Let's stick that in there so it comes down. And I'm just going to attach that right there, just leaving a margin all the way around. Isn't that beautiful right there? That's just so pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this to the front. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to look at it really good and make sure that I know where I'm putting my adhesive. My adhesive's going to go on this side over here on the back. So I'm going to turn it over. It's the edge where the bow is, and I'm just going to put that much. I want it to stick good, but I don't want it to go over into the other side. So I'm just going to center that on here now. From right to left and bottom to top. And that beautiful card. I think it's so pretty just like that. Now let's have some fun. Let's open up the inside and let's attach our panels in here. So we have 4 panels. So we're going to take one and we're just going to put adhesive on this little piece here, the little black pop-up, and just attach this. And what I did is I wanted to be sure that it was even with the bottom. So my pink is even with my bottom, and this is even with the edge of the little mechanism here, okay? So that way, when it pops up, I'm right at the edge. Love it with the pink outline. I don't have the pink outline on mine, and I like it much better with that. It just makes it look finished. And I'm gonna do the same thing at the top one. Just put some adhesive on there, and just line it up with the edge of that black and the top of my paper, my white. And just press that down, let it dry a little bit. Okay, now while that's drying, we can go ahead and insert these. So these are gonna go in here, and they're cut a little smaller, so you're gonna have, it's gonna be a little different because this is, we wanna make sure these don't come together and hit. That is one thing. So they are just missing each other, which is perfect. So these are cut a little shorter, and you're just going to center it between the 2 edges and give yourself a little margin at the top and at the bottom there, okay? And then this one, because those are cut at 2 5/8, these are cut at 2 3/8. So although it doesn't look like that much difference, does it? And then same thing here, this is just going to go down here in the bottom. Oh, I wanted it the other way around. Okay, it doesn't matter. So I just want to center it between those 2. So when my card pops up, you can see those. And when it's laying down, you can see them. Okay, so we're going to finish off with some bling on the front. So I took my iridescent rhinestones, and I added just 3 rhinestones. And I put one up in here, one over here, and I'm using the medium-sized ones. One down in, I'm going to put this one down here. So I have my triangle. Now I'm going to come in here, and I really want to put a few little rhinestones in here. I'm going to put 3 rhinestones in each of those little panels, because I just think they will be so pretty. to open up and see those rhinestones in there too. Right in the center of my flowers. It's beautiful. I love it. We'll see how the card closes though. Are these, yeah, these are small ones. Okay. And it closes just fine, ladies. Yeah, it works good. Okay, so that is card number 6 of the Delicate Dahlia series. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have fun creating it. Thank you.